All right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that smooth jazz leading into this.
Because it's about to be a bumpy ride talking about our teams.
Oh, yeah. And whatever else we talk about. All right. Week 11. This is week 11, isn't it?
Yeah.
Was already.
Week 11 Funcast here. Going into week 12. We've missed a few weeks. Life's been a bit hectic lately. So I'm glad we're back. Always have fun with this. But, man, it's been funny, it's the first week of the holiday season and I'm actually able to make it work. So yeah, that's priorities, right?
Of all weeks, it's the holiday week that you make work.
Yes, exactly. With me is Homer Bryant as usual, and down below me is he had his hoodie on, his hood up earlier. He was Ginger M&M, but now we'll call him Trent.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. So I'm bringing back the old-fashioned taster today. I know, Bryant, you've had this, but South Dakota has gotten the hard Mountain Dew, so I thought I'd crack it open today. And
yeah, I want a live taste test here. Did you get? Holy hell!
We have to bring back the alloy scale.
The alloy. That sounded pretty crisp.
Oh, that's a 5 out of 5 there, my friend. Just for the sound.
Oh,
just
shit.
for the sound. The smell that's good.
Which one did you get? Did you get the original, the Baja Blast?
Original, yeah.
And say you can disagree with me. Like when I tasted it, I thought it tasted like just Diet Mountain Dew, which is scary.
Yeah, that's exactly what it tastes like.
Yeah, and the scary part is I love Diet Mountain Dew, so I was chugging that hard Mountain Dew last time I had it, and I was like, I gotta slow down because this isn't just a normal pop, dude.
That might be better than Diet Mountain Dew. Like it kind of has that diet taste to it, but it's not as aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think my favorite was also just the classic Mountain Dew flavor one, not the Baja or the other one, watermelon.
Have you had the hard one yet?
I've had them. Yeah, yeah, it's good.
Great. You have also had hard ones?
Yes.
Okay, you had a hard one in your mouth.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure we're on the same page of you having a hard one. That's it.
I'm like actually impressed with that. 0 sugar, so it's healthy. It's healthier than a regular Mountain Dew.
Good for it, just like drinking water. It's right here. I mean, just like drinking my water.
You might as well be drinking vitamins at that point. Vitamin B, vitamin B6, vitamin B12, vitamin B24. There's so many B vitamins. I don't know when they stop, and when they start, because there's got to be a B vitamin that's bad for you, right? They just make it sound good.
Yeah, there's no ingredients. What's that about? Does anyone know what the alcohol content of like a Four Loko is?
I can't remember from back in the day, but weren't they crazy high, like 12? That's just like your typical double IPA now. All the youngsters that were doing Four Lokos are now just going to breweries and getting just as drunk.
8, 10, 12, or 14. This is 5%, so it's not like it's crazy high or anything, but
more than light beer.
More than light beer. More than that piss water they call Bud Light.
There we go. You started Bud, and if you're going to say Busch Light, I was going to turn my camera off and log off right
Shut his computer. Done.
I didn't want to offend Trent, but I didn't realize that I'm glad I held back because I didn't want to hurt your feelings too.
Oh, yeah. After this week, my feelings are pretty sensitive right now, so I appreciate you.
Be careful, Bryant. Bryant is fragile right now. Be careful.
Is it because Mr. Swift lost? Is it Mr. Swift or Mr. Pfizer at this point?
Mr. Taylor Swift lost. Yeah, he did.
So
do Bryant, jump in that one
both Bryant and I, it was just a weekend full of losing.
Woo, yeah, it was a bit of a rough one, but yeah, I mean, honestly, we just want to jump into it because I'd rather get mine out of the way. But
do it.
Yeah, I mean, Eagles won 21-17, and it felt like it was one of those games when you're watching as a fan of the Chiefs, and you're like, or really not even just the Chiefs. You're watching it's like, God, our team is just doing bad, and I can't articulate it. Like if it's like any other game where it feels like you have a million drop passes, and then they pull up the official stat where they haven't scored in the second half, they had 5 dropped passes in the game. Let's keep it singular for a second. This game was awful. Honestly, defense played really well. I mean, they held Jalen Hurts to 150 passing yards, but he rushed for 2 touchdowns. I don't know why the Lions got rid of DeAndre Swift. He was looking amazing last night. But yeah, I mean the Eagles, they got their regular season win. They're pretty pumped on it. Chiefs they continue to look that what me and Clark have always said in Beach We Trust. This not getting a wide receiver at the trade deadline and getting a true number 1 before the season is really looking like the first weak spot since Veach has taken over and since we've been, drafting through him, because everything is solid line. Mahomes is great. Running back by committee. I mean, even when Kelsey hasn't played, that Noah Gray has been solid with him. Blake Bell. I mean, they have about every group other than wide receiver is solid for him. So I think the other thing as well is we've had 26 drops on the year, which is the most in the NFL. Somehow, I'm not a very smart statistician, but somehow the law of averages has to come back. When you do completely shitty on one end, like you have to just stop dropping passes eventually, right?
You'd hope.
Think.
I hope so. I'm gonna speak into existence because holy hell, you can't do much worse than 26 drop passes in 5 in a game versus the reigning Super Bowl runner-up when you can't afford to have it.
Mm-hmm.
So if any positives, this is Mahomes when he's healthy. He's mobile. He can get around. He was getting the yards he needed to slid. He was putting passes on the money, just being dropped. That defensive line had Hurts in shambles, dude. They were getting all over. They were getting the sacks. We were looking good. That just DeAndre Swift was a little too quick for him out there, and he was making some plays. They pretty much Trent McDuffie. I mean, Chiefs fans have been going crazy for him all year. I think he's going to start entering national conversations of one of the top cornerbacks. I don't know if in the league, but he's going to be in the conversation up there. But the rest of where the draft should have maybe gone to wide receivers, you're seeing it shine with having the youngest defense in the league and having all that youth on that side of the ball, and we're rotating as many people as we are. So I got all my anger out last night at the bar when I was doing trivia when we missed 4th place by 1 point as well. So I watched my Chiefs lose and I watched myself lose in trivia. I was in a glass case of emotion by the end of it.
You're able to do trivia while watching the Chiefs play?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're actually into the trivia? I would not be paying attention at all during a Vikings game.
Oh, well, here's the other thing. The Chiefs were leading most of the time, so it was easy to pay attention when we're just winning by 10,
Did were there any first lady questions last night? I need to know.
Steven's probably going to kill me. We changed an answer on one of the questions that ended up us losing by 1 point. Can you name the country singer that wrote the song "I Will Always Love You," sang by Whitney Houston? Who is the country singer?
Yeah, I was going to say Dolly Parton.
I said Dolly Parton too, and we changed it to Sydney something.
What?
Spiznik? I don't know. It was some country music singer. We had Dolly Parton written down, crossed it off, put it in a different country, and then we lost by 1.
Oh no!
it was a little rough.
So
if anything, through all my incoherent rambling, at least someone out there learned that Dolly Parton wrote that song now.
Yeah, I knew that.
That is something I knew too.
No tipper Gores. There is
no tipper. Dang
no tipper. I barely know her.
So it's going back to the game. It's kind of a shame that this is the best defense Patrick Mahomes has had behind, opposite of him, and it's just kind of being wasted.
Yeah, I agree.
I shouldn't say it's being wasted. They're still 8-2 or whatever. So it's not like it's being wasted, but
the life of a blessed Chiefs fan is the sky is falling at 7-3 right now. You know, and we're still the number 1 seed, by the way, and no one in our division is close. So we have some room to test some things out in the Raiders games and stuff.
Yeah, you can stumble and you'll still make the playoffs just comfortably.
Yeah, but what if we don't get to host the AFC Championship for the 6th year in a row, though, Trent? We'll be devastated.
Yeah, I can see that. Must be
Yeah,
rough.
yeah. No, but honestly, even those receivers, they got to figure something out. Otherwise, if we play the Texans or Browns in the first round, we're done. Yeah, those defense will shut us down, and then all they have to do is just luck into a good field position, a good punt return, and we're SOL at that point.
Yeah, I don't know how we talked about this outside, but Mahomes taking some responsibility. I don't know how he doesn't just chew his receivers out. Like he's taking blame for not throwing the perfect pass. That was a huge pass that should have been caught by any NFL receiver.
Yeah, game-winning touchdown. It would have been. I threw it just a little too hard.
Yep.
My buddy Steven, I don't know if he was trolling me last night, but he's like, he saw that pass and he goes, Mahomes overthrew it by about 8 inches. I was like, what the fuck did you say? Like, I was legit like, I was like 8 inches, like, so there, like, instead of in the breadbasket over the shoulder, an 8-inch radius would be here, now you're stretching, now you're too far, or it's hitting your shoulder pads. Like, it was the spot, man. Like, you didn't have to slope or anything. I was just like, okay, sure. But, yeah, it was I don't know. MVS, you're starting to see why we've been doing wide receiver by committee and why so many people have so many few snaps. And it's not that like they all need him, but we don't have a true number one, so we can't get the reps in on AJ Brown's in there every play because he's the true number one and they can game plan around him. No one else has taken that stride and taken that responsibility.
And I know it's hard to compare this because you guys are a much more successful team than ours, and you're also having higher draft picks. But you look at the Vikings, and then the last 4 years we've had Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison being picked, and you guys just can't get anyone like that.
No, well, and it's like, and again, we're blessed with like looking at that defense. Every single defensive pick is damn near hit, even going all the way down to the 6th and 7th round. So like, again, in Veach I trust, but like the priority needs to be. I don't care how this year ends in a Super Bowl or not. The priority needs to be a true number one in Mahomes' second half of his career. We
Did they even go after Hopkins?
What's that?
Did they even go after Hopkins?
I'm pretty sure they did, and he wanted to be the number one for Will Levis. So I'm glad that paycheck's working out for him in Tennessee. Like,
good choice.
I don't like that was always the shocker when I would hear something like that. It's like we've talked about this. It's like, so you're going to take $3 to $4 million more a year to for sure struggle throughout. It's going to be a struggle with the young Jaguars team, the Colts that now have a number 4 pick. Honestly, the Texans, who you thought would be a pushover, and now they're not. And you go to the Titans. You chose the 4th best team in the AFC South. Like,
well, and wasn't it between them and New England?
Yeah, he. So he's got some
Mac Jones throwing him the ball.
I mean, at some point you got to look like, okay, I've made enough money in my career. I'm not doing well with Kyler Murray. You know what's going to really fix things? Ryan Tannehill. That'll get me over the moon.
I mean, look at that career. He can't choose. He was drafted by the Texans, but then he wants to get traded, so he gets to the Cardinals, and then he chooses either the Titans or the Patriots. Post Tom Brady Patriots, not your dad's Patriots. That some decision making. I don't know that. It's just a little frustrating seeing like he would be such a clear number one right now and be able to get some attention away from Kelsey, some attention away from some of these other guys where maybe they don't have that pressure and they can be the wide open guy because 2 are on Kelsey and 1 or 2 are on Hopkins or something. I don't know. It's going to be a rough stretch in here, but
I can guarantee Tennessee got him because they had Tim McGraw recruit him. Who could Kansas City have gotten to be as big of a recruiter as Tim McGraw?
Eric Stonestreet from Modern Family. They get him out there and he break out his cam outfit.
So you say he chose, Tannehill, Will Levis. So I was just thinking like
Tim McGraw.
Who were his quarterbacks in Tennessee? I found a list. Or in Tennessee, in Houston, sorry. Matt Schaub.
Oh, God.
Case
Do you have
Keenum.
it in front of you?
Yep, Matt Schaub, Case Keenum, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Ryan Mallett, R.I.P., Brian Hoyer, T.J. Yates, Brandon Whedon, Brock Osweiler, Tom Savage, and Deshaun Watson. Oh, and A.J. McCarron.
Oh, and AJ McCarron. There we go. And then he got traded to the Cardinals, where his quarterbacks were Kyler Murray, which is
Kyler
good.
Murray, yeah.
Colt McCoy. Who's that guy? Third string, got in a few games. I'm saying Tyrod Taylor, but that's not who I mean. It was the guy that Logan Thomas. He was another quarterback for him.
So he's been so good with such bad quarterbacks. Like, go to the Chiefs, play with Mahomes. Jesus, after seeing this list, like, I would hate to see the best wide receiver free agent go to the best team because they keep winning. But Jesus, you deserve it, dude.
Yeah, that's where I honestly like the whole off season. You saw me and Clark. It's like we got this in the bag. Don't even have to worry.
Yeah,
because it makes so much sense. Why wouldn't you? But I'm not in a position to say $4 million isn't a lot to a person.
So I'm gonna throw this out here because
All right, I'm ready to catch it.
I don't know if you know this or not, but Ryan Tannehill once played wide receiver.
No, never heard that before.
He's got that connection where he's like, you know what? I want to play with a fella. He understands me. He's going to do exactly what I need. He's got the same throwing talent as Patrick Mahomes with a wide receiver background.
Yeah, Ryan Tannehill taught him how to actually run some routes for once, and that's why he's been so good this year.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I don't even know if DeAndre Hopkins has been good this year. I'm trying to see when did Ryan Tannehill go to So he was at Texas A&M in 2011. It looks like 2007 to 2011. That explains why Tannehill wasn't a great quarterback in the league. He was good, but that's when he was in the Big 12. So like if he would have been SEC Texas A&M Ryan Tannehill, I think it'd have been a lot better.
Oh, for sure.
For sure.
For sure.
That, and have you ever had Tim McGraw sit across from you and sing Indian Outlaw to get you there? I don't think so.
Is that how it happened?
Where is he getting me to? There?
Just to get you pumped up and excited to join a team.
Something.
Get you to finish that decision.
Yeah, so
DeAndre gave him an under the table HJ to sign with the Titans?
Under the table.
No. It's all
under the
strumming
table,
the guitar.
Over the pants.
Over the pants. OTP, as they say. As the kids say, anyways.
So DeAndre Hopkins right now has 650 receiving yards on 42 catches this year. 4 touchdowns.
Damn. So. That's 4 catches a game.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 32, 30. I wouldn't be able to catch
31.
4 balls a game.
It's 31.
Yeah, I'm 33.
Still young.
How many yards has he had all year?
650.
If I ran 650 yards for right now without stretching, I might die. Just going straight.
Yep.
Pull a hammy.
You have Adam Thielen, who's older. He's had 76 receptions, 726 yards.
So Adam Thielen's having a better year.
Possibly with
Thielen
the worst.
Greater than Hopkins.
Possibly with an even worse quarterback.
But by the way, like, not only like they got to feel bad for like looking at CJ and what he's doing right now, and CJ's got I think a better overall team. We saw it last year at Davis Mills. Like they were there a lot of the time, just didn't have that last little step there. But I think they felt kind of screwed when it's the first game. Look how small Bryce Young looks out there, man. Like, how does he throw any routes? I don't get it. I complain when I'm sitting at an Iowa State football game and there's 2 people standing in front of me and I can't see the play around me. And this guy has people that are half a foot to a foot taller than him, 5 of them with 4 on the other side of them, and he has to see a route going 20 yards downfield. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I don't know. But I want to know too, how does Frank Reich keep on getting jobs?
That I'm not sure. How many teams has he been on?
Well, he got fired from the Colts.
Yeah.
Wasn't he?
Was he a head coach before that for like the Raiders or something?
I don't know. I think he was OC for the Eagles.
Frank Reich. Let me see here.
I know he's got a background with Carson Wentz.
Yeah. So this is only the Second time he's been a head coach.
Okay.
You know what they're going to say the next head coaching job he gets, though, right?
Kansas City.
No, I was just going to make a Third Reich joke. That's all.
Jeez.
It's only the Second Reich. That one was not as successful.
Did you go to
from
Michigan
what I hear.
State?
What?
Did you go to Michigan State? Is that part of your guys' trivia or what?
Oh, yeah. God, I feel so bad for that whoever intern that lost their $8 an hour job because they didn't watch a full YouTube video that mentioned Hitler at minute 21. You know, it could happen to anyone, man.
It's an honest mistake. I guarantee it.
Oh, this kind of reminds me of like because it's something like you just don't foresee happening, right? And we had it where in student council once we insisted with our English teacher to watch Family Guy. She's like, no, it's vulgar. And we're like, no, it's actually kind of funny, you know, with the callback scenes or whatever. It was the one out of nowhere episode. Do you remember the episode where Bryant steals Stewie or takes Stewie's money and he wants him to pay him back and he never does and he just beats the crap out of him for like 5 straight minutes?
Shoots him in the
That's
kneecap.
the episode. Yeah, shoots his kneecap, blood everywhere. Like usually it's like a fart joke or a sex joke and it's like, haha, I get it. No, this was like straight up violence, breaking his nose and everything. Like she had to send her daughter out of the room, and we're like, I swear to God, that has never happened on this show in our lives. Like South Park, we would never do it. We know that can happen. Family Guy, that was the first episode where it's like explicit violence, and we just couldn't explain it to this teacher that didn't want to watch it in the first place.
That's how that works, though. You could be watching. I don't know why this show popped up in my head, but you could be watching Touched by an Angel with your parents. The most wholesome gospel-y show on the planet, and all of a sudden there's this special episode where the angel goes bad and becomes a dominatrix. You're just like, sorry, mom and dad, I thought it was a different type of touch.
Pastor's sitting there, and then the angel gives him the OTP HJ, you know. Truly touched by an angel.
Not sure why that show of all shows on this planet popped into my head.
It touched you, man. It has that lasting impact.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be the episode where it's like, yeah, touched by an angel. Nothing's bad's gonna happen. The one episode, like you said, dominatrix, sex worker, most violent, descriptive, like Law and Order SVU episode. Like, Jesus, I don't need. I'm just trying to eat my dinner here.
It's like tonight we were gonna have supper, and we had a Planet Earth type show on for Ezra to watch, and I'm setting the table, and I'm like, okay, we're not gonna watch this during lunch. And my wife goes, why is that? And I go, well, right now they're talking about and showing mosquitoes sucking blood off of a caribou. I don't feel like that's good dinner show.
Doesn't make you want to slop down some dinner, huh?
I didn't want to eat my caribou. I mean, that's all there is to it.
I don't like caribou. That's gotta be it. Jesus. Well, speaking of sucking up shit, should we talk about the Broncos game?
Yeah, dirty Sean Payton.
Not the Vikings. The shitty part was the Broncos part of the game. That's what I was going to give you that. But
no, but I think we can all agree. Everyone says that was a good game because it was close. It really was not a good game. Both teams played terrible.
It was terrible.
This, oddly enough, Dobbs didn't have the first game jitters, or like the first game, okay, he's learning his players week 1. He had it week 3. This was the game where it looked like, has he played with these guys before?
Yeah, it wasn't a good game for him. I don't know if he's the answer, but it's just one game. Who knows?
Yeah. And again, what didn't we do when we won 6 games or 5 games in a row? Turn the ball over. And then here we go back to turning the ball over. You lose a turnover battle 3-0. It's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Dobbs, his passing didn't look good. Now his pocket awareness and his scrambling abilities are phenomenal, but his passing was way behind this week.
I agree with his pocket awareness. He looks so calm in the pocket. He just stands there and surveys the field as the pocket is collapsing around him.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, okay, I got to get the hell out of here. And he does.
Well, how about the touchdown pass there where he's scrambling around and then he stops short of the line of scrimmage and he waits for them to be right in his face and then decides to just get rid of it. Like it's
Yeah.
impressive his awareness. And
Yeah. And at the end of this game, I knew that the Vikings were going to lose.
yeah,
Like they gave the Broncos the ball and they'd scored 5 field goals. I'm like, I mean, they got to punch one of these in and this is
Yep.
going to be it. And
Yep.
and I've said this on this podcast probably multiple times. Prevent defense only prevents you from winning.
Yep.
Dude, they gave the Broncos 10 yards, 10 yards, 15 yards, 10 yards, all just little dump passes to their running back until they got all the way down the field and there's a touchdown. Okay, now we have a minute and a half left. And the Broncos, what'd they do? They played real defense on the Vikings, and look what happened.
Yep.
Yeah.
I prevent defense pisses me off so bad because
And that surprised me because boy, were we putting pressure on them the whole game, and then when it really counted, just fold over.
Yep. Here's 15-yard chunks at a time, passes to the running back. Here, you can take them until you get down the field and score. Prevent defense only prevents you from winning football games. I hate it.
And let's be honest, if you're going to be scared of anything on the Broncos, it's not going to be we have to play prevent because they have this amazing offensive prowess. It's that defense has been keeping them in the game. Like you said, if you just play that normal, you would have been just fine.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I think
what has Russ Wilson shown in the last 2 years that makes you think he's going to carve you up?
Exactly. He had a couple good passes to Jerry Jeudy, and that was about it.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't quite have it. They're starting to come around. They're 5-5 right now.
Yeah, they just
they're only
3 good teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
I mean, I never thought we'd be talking about how competent the Broncos would be this season, but they're starting to look it.
Yeah, I would really love to see Madison be in the game less. It just seems like he is good at fumbling when you really can't have it. And I feel like that was the momentum swinger for us.
Yeah, when he's so bad like that and fumbling, it's like, does Kane Nwangu, does he suck that bad? Like, I know he returns kicks and the dude is fast as hell. Like, give him a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when Madison was concussed out, was 2 games ago, Kenny had some good runs. He did. And Ty Chandler looks way better. Now, Ty Chandler can't pass block as well as Madison. So that he was kind of part of one of the interceptions by missing a block. But when it comes to running, he's so much better than Madison. I don't understand. He's got to have some blackmail or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Give Kene some carries, man.
Yeah.
Came from running back you.
How have Addison and Hawkinson looked these last couple of games? Because the whole beginning of the season was like we overpaid. We felt like overpaid for Hawkinson. He better prove it. And then Addison was probably, I feel like everyone wanted it, but it was a little bit of shock. Like, yeah, JJ, you need a line that you need to improve on. Have they been stepping up in these games? I know you lost, but have they been
last week? Hawkinson did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Hawkinson killed last week.
Yeah, like 140 yards.
This week, Hawkinson and Addison really didn't do a whole lot, but there were a couple of passes to Hawkinson that floated way too high that were just uncatchable. It was just bad passing this week. It really was. It wasn't really anything on the receivers, and I'm sure they probably doubled Hawk because of how good of a game he had prior, but it was more that Dobbs passing just looked very subpar this week.
Yeah, Hawkinson had 4 catches for 55 yards. Addison had 3 catches for 44 yards. So
yeah, I have both of them on my fantasy, and I lost by 6 points because they didn't do crap during that game. Should have won, but
I read this online, and you guys can agree or disagree, but fantasy football isn't how good you are. It's about how lucky you are, because you could have the best lineup, and someone just they got CD Lamb and the Broncos and that 40-0 Giants. But
mm-hmm.
It's more luck compared to how good your team actually is.
I've won more games this year because of the Cowboys defense. If it weren't for them, they've scored 40 points in a game. They've scored 30 points multiple times this season. It's because of them. I'm second in our league. But again, the luck part of it too. I've got Jamar Chase. Well, guess what? He's not doing so good anymore after Joe Burrow goes down.
That's a team that I think is in trouble because
Absolutely.
they do not have a backup quarterback.
You don't believe in Jake Browning?
Nope.
That was the good thing for the Vikings. It sucks that Kirk got hurt, but it was right before the trade deadline that we could get Dobbs.
Yeah.
But I think Kirk just earned his a new contract after this last game.
You know, after the first couple weeks and everyone wanted the Passtronaut, you think that's subsided now?
I mean, if we win by 2 possessions this game, if Kirk's throwing.
No, I agree, and it's one of these. Hopefully, Kirk has made so much fucking money in his career. This would be like the Kirk sign the friendly, like even make it 20 million. I don't even know what like a super friendly deal would be like. You need to improve that line if you want to be around for Tom Brady 40, until you're 40,
Yep.
or not get hit as much. I would hope that would. I can't imagine comparing Minneapolis living to New York, Los Angeles, where some of these other players, play. I would imagine you could take the home team hometown discount
Well,
and be able to like, build around you, man.
he claims he wants to retire in Minnesota, so or from the Vikings organization. So you're 36 years old, and granted he was looking like an MVP the first half of the season.
Yeah.
But you're 36 and coming off of a pretty significant injury, so hopefully you're willing to take a little less money. But I don't know. I love Kirk. I'd love to keep him around, but we'll see. We'll see what
So I'm
happens.
looking at the Vikings remaining schedule. They have 6 games left. I think they can go 4-2. Do you think 10-7 gets them into the playoffs?
Absolutely.
I think so too.
For the NFC, absolutely.
Yeah, because we play Bears, Raiders, Bengals, Lions, Packers, Lions. I think we lose both those games to the Lions and win the rest.
I'm thinking the final week doesn't mean anything, and we win that one.
Yeah, the Lions might have it wrapped up, so I'm not playing any starters.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think you're winning the division by any means.
But the Lions almost lost to Chicago, so they're vulnerable. There is no team. I don't think there's any team this year in AFC or NFC that isn't vulnerable.
Yeah, they would have lost that game if it weren't for what's his name, Aiden Hutchinson, that defensive end, that strip sack and safety. They should have lost.
Like last year, I never wanted to face 49ers, Eagles, Chiefs. But this year, it's like all 3 of them, I think, can get beat pretty, not easily, but it's possible.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just going to pull up the playoff picture right now. I misspoke. Apparently, the Ravens took the 1 seed because they have their 8th win. They haven't had their bye yet.
And they're looking good. Boy, are they looking good this year.
Mm-hmm. No, but I'm saying, and they honestly, this is going to be the stretch where it's like, hey, Ravens, like this is why you paid Lamar, or I guess more to Lamar. Lamar, you got to be, you have the 1 seed. You can have the easiest, way. The Chiefs are vulnerable. The Jags are still the Jags with a younger quarterback. Geez, Louis, look, that is a tight race right now. I thought there was a little bit of separation. 8-3, 7-3, 7-3, 7-3 Dolphins, 7-3 Browns. I mean, this is going to be where it starts dropping off here, but good on them. This is where Lamar getting paid. This is what they expected. This is what he's told them that he'd be able to do if he was ever available full season. Thankfully, we're finally able to see it now.
Yeah, he's doing it.
Yeah. So, and then let's see, NFC, you got Eagles clear 1, Lions actually clear 2. 2, then Niners, Saints winning that AFC South or NFC South, man. Cowboys 5, Seahawks 6, and then Vikings sneaking in at 7 there. Oh my God, Packers are 4-6, and they're 8th.
Yep.
Yeesh. Yeah, that looks like that picture is actually pretty much set for the NFC. It's just going to be shuffling around, and maybe the NFC South. Where did the Falcons at? Falcons 1 game out, so.
Yeah, and I mean Dobbs is as long as he doesn't have a complete collapse, we should be able to win enough games to get us the last seed.
Yeah, I think the Vikings could go, like I said, 4-2 the rest of the way.
Yeah, I agree.
They do that. Once you get into the playoffs, man, it don't matter where you're playing.
Yeah.
One team has that off week. Look, I always think back to the New York Giants when Manning was there. 8-8 every time they won the Super Bowl, but then they would just be the 6th seed and they just go through everyone.
Yeah. I'm not counting on the Monday night game against the Bears though. I mean, Dobbs didn't look great in his first primetime game. Let's see what he does the second primetime game.
Those primetime games are deadly, dude. That is
Mhm.
going to be that's the weird part is like I didn't feel confident in the Chiefs enough last night to bet the win. I bet the under and a hit. Those primetime unders, man, they're paying for people's houses right now. They're like hitting like 70-80% of the time.
Yep.
Can the Vikings just win one? Like, it's on national TV. Like, people who only watch those primetime games have to think the Vikings are 0-17.
Pretty much.
You know what I've been thinking, Trent? The last 3 weeks, the Cyclones have been on primetime 2 times. It's going to be a 3rd time this weekend. Can we win in primetime? Can we not just fucking
Okay,
lose?
I got one. Can we just play at 11? Can we kick off at 11 a.m.?
Every week. We're great. 11 o'clock Minnesota is so good.
I think the Jack Trice, they should just take the lights down. Have no lights, just like they did back in the 90s.
Like Notre Dame back in the day and the Cubs and stuff.
I remember when they had to bring in lights on a truck to Jack Trice for night games. That's been since I've been going to games that they didn't have permanent lights. God.
And it's for nostalgic reasons. It wasn't because we couldn't afford it.
No, nothing like that.
Oh God, yeah, no. Honestly, just prime time seems to be honestly a killer for both of our teams right now. The Chiefs' 3 losses. They lost to the Lions, first game of the season, prime time. Eagles, Monday Night Football, prime time. And then Broncos on a random Sunday afternoon. So thankfully that one wasn't. But two out of 3 losses. That's pretty bad. Kind of the opposite of what Meatloaf said. 2 out of 3 actually is bad. 66%. That's a majority. That ain't good.
Depends on if you're winning or losing them.
Well,
what side you're on?
Very, very, very true. The losing side. So.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Hopefully these are both 2 get-right games. The Chiefs are going to play at the Raiders. I mean, the Raiders have been a flipping mess, but the way we're dropping passes, anyone can stay in any game, dude. Doesn't matter if you got Mahomes or Joe Namath or whoever throwing. If you're gonna have hands of stone, I hope they just have that jugs machine running 24 hours at that facility, and when they walk in, you have to catch 5 passes before you. Like it should be instead of like, hey, you have to have the hall pass to go to the bathroom. Oh, MVS, you want to go to the restroom? You have to catch 5 passes from the jugs machine, and each time it gets 10 miles per hour faster, man. And then you let him go. If he misses it, you restart again. You just lost bathroom privileges, my friend.
You gotta hold it.
Gotta
do the old run sprints till you throw up situation.
Yeah, but just catches. I don't want you tired. I just want you to get something, man. Holy hell,
it's bad.
Chiefs need to go back to stick 'em.
Yeah, can we just start cheating?
Hey, it worked for New England.
You've complained about on Amateur Hour, what's his name, Stallions forever. Now it's just like, can we just start doing something like that?
Yeah, can we get something like, we don't even need signs, just something. What is a sticky substance that we can?
What's Connor Stallions up to? I know he got fired. Is he available?
Not quite employed. Oh, that is a story. Not only just the cheating scandal, but like, have you heard all of the like back end stuff? Like, I guess back end, but like not like directly with the sign stealing, but like the process of how he became a sign stealer and like how he was paying for it.
I haven't.
So supposedly he was hired by Michigan, and like within a short period, either the next day or within a week, both his parents' mortgages were paid off, and then within a week he had bought a house for like $400,000. The next week sold the house for $670,000. Like he made $250,000 on this house. And then like there's a bunch of the opening. That was also when he'd opened up that refurbished vacuum company, and that was also the same address that him and Blake Corum made his shell company, or the Blake Corum's company. And then when all this was broke up, then it dissolved within days before they would have had to testify the NCAA. Everything is just like it has been so sketchy, and like it makes people think it's like we've talked about this where every conspiracy theorist would always said about like the Jeff Epstein stuff, and then one thing came true, and now every conspiracy they go through, like this was what makes me feel like, because like everything seems plausible, and now that the craziest things we've ever heard have happened, now it's like I can see this happening. Selling a house and his parents is more, all of a sudden, yeah, I can take a job for $50,000 when you pay me $300,000 on the front end and everything else. Like it just unravels, and it's like it's on these message boards, and of course, half of them are on Buckeyes, half of them are on Reddit. How do you track it? It's like, they have the documents, they can prove it, and there's just these weirdos that love college football that much that dig into government, putting in like requests for public information, finding this stuff. It's been the story that keeps on giving, and I hope that it keeps giving it, as in Michigan gets suspended after this year.
So, never mind. I'll save it for tomorrow. I'm saving it for amateur hour.
For amateur hour, all righty. That's your sneak peek. I had to get some of this conspiracy brain stuff out before we discussed it.
All right, I'm sharing my screen here.
Oh, here we go.
Michigan figure. make your own meme about cheating.
Yeah.
Were you making the Hillary face when I was explaining the refurbished vacuum business? Is that what brought it up?
Is it like the vacuum business? When you get
found out.
Is it the vacuum business that makes people disappear on Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul?
All it does is make NIL money disappear into a loan pocket and stuff.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's like I said, this is going to be one. This isn't going away anytime soon. Once Michigan accepted the punishment after saying we're going to leave the Big Ten Conference, and then all of a sudden it was like they're in court 2 days later, and they're like, you know what? Actually, we don't want to lose $60 million a year. We'll take this three week punishment. Like that's when you knew they had shit on them. Like, yeah, get ready to leave the Big Ten and not be able to join anyone else for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just upset that he's gone for the Ohio State game. Can we just give him an exemption for the Ohio State game?
So he's actually with the team. He's the only thing he's not doing is coaching the games. So like he's there at practice every day.
Yeah, but I feel like coaching during the games kind of.
I get it, but still, like that game prep still too. Like he's with them for 6 out of 7 days a week.
I just don't like Ohio State.
Can they both lose?
I've got money on the Meteor. How can we get the Meteor?
My favorite also. So you saw that they got their 1,000 wins this last weekend, right? It's so funny hearing about. Now everyone looks into like because with everything, everyone hates winners, and Michigan is the winningest team. They are going back to like all their. I don't know if you know like the history of college football, like when it first started, but like when they first started, they'd have all these big universities like Ivy Leagues would teach the next school and then play them in a game, and they would count as a win. And then that school would teach them. That's how it was the only way they could spread the game in the early days. Well, like now
it was started at KU, right?
What's that?
It was created at KU, right?
Yeah. Well, basketball was. Yeah. But Michigan would like bring in all these schools, and it's like Michigan beat it's like the Michigan School of the Deaf, Ann Arbor High School, Ann Arbor YMCA, and it's like, and every school has them. I always do like on Winsipedia, you can look up and see all your like hilariously like that's one of your all-time wins. Like going through there's some of it's like, oh, they beat Marquette, which doesn't even have a football program anymore, but they got a very respectable basketball. You can see that one, but then it's just like, oh, they beat the military, the Michigan Military Academy. They beat Toronto, They played a Canadian team that they beat. Iowa Navy pre-flight. The Cleveland AA. I mean, they're literally playing some drunks, and they beat them in a game, and they counts as a win.
Yeah,
1,000 wins.
Iowa Teachers College.
Yes,
Sounds like they've been playing the NFC South their whole
They played the Physicians and Surgeons of Illinois, the Quantico Marines of Virginia, Stevens Tech out of New Jersey. I mean, there's so many very like weird ones, and obviously, I mean, those are all like out of their 1,000 wins, their non-FBS team wins are 183 of them. So there's always going to be bound to be like, the school of the blind in high schools and stuff like that. It's just always funny, like touting we won 1,000 games versus high schoolers and people that literally learned the game that week. But that's a win.
Yeah, that's not a huge percentage though. 100 and some.
Oh no! I would say 18%. I would say it's not too bad. I was pulling up LSU, Ryan, to see if you have any silly ones that we can make fun of. Oh, you're 1-0 versus Wichita State. So sorry, Clark.
And they don't have a football program. So.
Well, not anymore. They got their ass beat too hard.
No, they actually had a plane crash.
Oh, sorry. Well, I can't. Why wouldn't you have said that before I made the joke? Come on. The New Orleans YMGC. What the fuck is that? Youth?
It's a mixture of GNC and YMCA.
You just get school there.
The staff there, yeah.
What's YMCA stand for?
Youth Men's something.
Well, that doesn't tell me. The New Orleans YMCA, the New Orleans Eagles. I don't know what the hell that is. McNeese State, they're actually for real. I was about to say they
Young Men's Christian Association.
Young Men's Christian Association. So what does YMGC stand for then? LSU is 1-0 versus Havana University of Cuba, by the way.
Really?
Wait, you have 2 wins versus Louisiana State alumni, so you just beat people that graduated, and then you're 1-0 versus LSU freshmen. You just put your younger players out there, and you count a win versus that? What kind of dog shit is that, man?
How do I become part of the alumni team? I want to go against those guys.
Yeah. Oh, God. Could you imagine it? Like, any one of us is like, I'm going to join the alumni team. They let you, and then you have to go against Division I players of today. I would have, if I would have played in 1908, I would have at least been All-State, maybe All-American at that level. Like, I'm just confident with me being my size and my body right now, I would have been All-American. I would have been the Warren Sapp of that day. It would have been insane. I thought you were talking
basketball. Oh no, that is football.
Oh, yeah. I would have been Glenn Davis before Glenn Davis.
Glenn Big Baby Davis.
I would just been a big baby out there.
I was thinking you're gonna be Shaq out there. I don't know why I was thinking.
Well, no.
So apparently Jaden Daniels is pretty amazing lately, huh?
Oh, I have him in a Heisman pool, dude. I see this is where I gotta have LSU side on this. Usually I hate these like the warm-up games or whatever, but he went for 8 touchdowns and 500 yards for like the second week in a row. So it's not even just like the one Georgia State game. Well, we're not acting like Bo Nix and Michael Penix don't do the same thing in their games where they're still balling in the fourth quarter and they've been up by 28 or 30 points versus Cal. They're not coming back. But only one player has been getting scolded for pat stat or stat padding when he's had less attempts than 2 of them.
Yeah. And it seems. I mean, really, if you look at it, and if they had more wins, I think he'd probably be the front runner. But I mean, it's kind of Jaden Daniels, and then the rest of them afterthought because it should be, but it's not. It's not going to be that way.
It depends on how this last week goes. Maybe he balls out, and who do they play this weekend?
Let me look it
A&M?
up.
Because I think it's rivalry weekend, so I think it's like A&M.
Yes.
So he balls out versus A&M, which is a team that already lost their coach. If he can get another 5 to 7 touchdown performance, and Bo and Penix don't do as well, I think you'd have a very convincing shot of like the shitty thing is they can count conference championship games in these awards. That's going to be the one thing obviously holding them back. So I don't know. I have him. I'm rooting for it, dude. But and it's also like you said, how many people have 550 yards just casually?
Yeah.
No one.
Well, and he's doing it with his arms and his legs. Like, I mean, it's nuts. We're going to college football. I know this is an amateur hour day, but there is zero draft talk about Daniels though. Like nothing.
Yeah.
And it might be because it's his size. He's pretty small. I don't know if he'll, if he's not going to be durable, but he seems super talented.
I mean, we've seen those smaller talented QBs get a shot, man. I mean, then you see the likes of like Stetson Bennett gets a shot. How would Jaden Daniels, with the stats that he has and the playmaking he has, not get an opportunity somewhere?
Yeah, I mean he'll get drafted, but I just have not heard anything about him in the first round at all.
Yeah, and that's just kind of one of those. If you don't have the prototypical size, they're very rarely going to look at you now, man.
If he was Deion Sanders' son, he would be talked about first pick.
Hate to see them lose 7 in a row.
Yeah, but does Jaden have does he have a nice watch that he can flex? A nice Casio?
I don't think he posts stuff on Instagram to buy apparel and memorabilia on during halftime.
How bad?
He needs to get a deal with is Fossil still a big deal?
Oh yeah. They got smartwatches now, bud.
Oh, smart shit.
How?
Yeah, he needs to get a deal with Casio or Fitbit or something. Get a nice little watch with his name.
Timex.
Timex is I'd say as much as we joke about Casio and Timex, those are actually like legit brands. Like I don't know if they go for a college athlete.
Get that Timex NIL money.
Oh yeah, that Timex NIL money. Next up, Yellow Pages NIL money. Man, it is low. But son, don't you want all of the free phone books you can have with all the information? You mean from my phone? They probably phone books have just got to be so pissed off with the advancement of cell phones, having all the technology in the world, just way easier on the environment now. But I kind of miss,
just
having a phone book.
Just still get one in the mail every once in a while. I'll get like a Yellow Pages in the mail.
It's been a while.
When I was in college, we used to still get them at our front door. Like they would just throw it on everyone's doorstep. Mostly because, like, I guess college town, like, hoping someone doesn't have a cell phone in today's age and they give it to you.
Use your landline.
Yeah, that is one thing I kind of wish I had, just a landline here. I'd be pissed off if anyone ever called it, but it would kind of be a nice little novelty to look at the wall, answer it, yellow, have the cord trip over it and stuff.
I've never had one. Like in Kansas, when we built our house, we weren't even going to put landline hookups in it.
Yeah, but growing up, you had one, though.
Yeah. No, I'm saying like since I've owned a house.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely not.
And the contractor's like, yeah, you probably should put that in there just for like resale. I'm like, fine.
I don't know if our house has one. Our house, we bought it brand new. I honestly don't think ours has that.
Yeah, like we had when they built the house, like just put it right in the kitchen. There was one hookup right next to the cupboards, and we like put a picture over it so it was just hidden.
Man,
I'll have to pay attention.
Trent with a vendetta against physical landlines. Jeez.
Yeah, what do they do to you, man?
Got my cell phone.
Tell me where landlines hurt you in your life.
Where I need a landline.
You trip over a cord back in the 90s and sprain an ankle or something?
Maybe.
And I know what Trent was doing back in Gower back in the day. He was trying to call some cuties, and they couldn't because they were on the internet, and we couldn't have more than one line at once. I know it was going. That's why he hates it.
You can't be having that.
Oh my gosh. You guys remember
No,
good
yeah.
old MSN Messenger?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is that still a thing?
I mean, it's probably like
I'm-
evolved to Teams or Zoom or whatever it is now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love the first time when you'd ever get rejected. Hey, how's it going? Immediately offline. Oh, cool. Fuck me, huh? With the original, cool. Fuck me, huh?
Just sit there waiting. I hope my best friend gets on tonight. We talk on
Man,
MSN.
those were the days.
Yeah.
Remember when I wouldn't be able to just text you guys? I'd have to go on MSN and hope you're on at the same time.
Yeah. Couldn't just leave a message. You have to be online.
I'm pretty sure my buddy Jack still has his Hotmail.
Oh, I do.
5th
That's my main email.
grade.
Oh yeah.
What was it? Ryan Dumbman 5786
No.
at Hotmail.
So I was a little like, I was kind of old manish even at a younger age. So it was just rvarlik223 at hotmail.com. I didn't go with the. I had a buddy. I'm not gonna name his names. He knows who he is, but dirty white boy at hotmail.com did not was not going to age very appropriately.
Put that on your resume.
Yeah.
When you're applying for jobs.
Yeah, rvarlik223 at hotmail.com does a whole lot. It's a lot more professional than dirty white boy.
So I think this interview went great. I think I'd be a wonderful candidate for your job. If you would just let me know the results at dirtywhiteboy@hotmail.com, just let me know if I got the job or not. Thank you. And then you just dirty employed white boy now.
Yeah, hire that guy.
Get this man a contract ASAP.
Yep.
Dirty white boy at Hotmail. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and I mean, I said I'm old manish, but then you look at my Xbox Live account name. That's not the most. I don't know. Most clean. I don't know. It's not terrible, but
Conquistador.
Yeah. No, you forgot the 69 you forgot the 69 on the back.
Yeah.
There's a lot of kids whose favorite number is 69. I don't get it.
God, how many what would that be? How many 54-year-olds have to be playing right now? Golly.
I would love to know, because my wife actually still uses her Hotmail account too. So I mean, we're a Hotmail family.
I'm a Gmail guy.
Mine even at a young age was Shania Twain the Goat at hotmail.com.
That's what it should be now.
Yeah, well, it still is. I still use the Hotmail to this day. I had to update it for my Gmail and Yahoo account. It's just Shania Twain's the Goat, Diego.
I didn't realize you were such a Shania guy.
Hey, Bryant, what's your shirt say?
Jeez.
I love Shania.
Shania, will you come on for an interview with our Bryant?
There we go.
Yeah. She'll log in for the dozens of listens.
I am reaching out to her.
Yep. DM, dropping her DMs.
We'll help you sell minimum of 2 more records of your new record here, Shania.
I mean, if we all bought it, it'd be 3 right there.
I'm assuming her concert was amazing.
It was pretty good. She did 2 full hours. That really shocked me with as big of an artist as she is. Like, most of the time they do an hour and they're out of Des Moines, Iowa by hour 30, you know?
Yeah.
But she did a full 2 hours. She did some crowd work. She dressed like a young 22-year-old, which I loved. She did a couple hits at the beginning. She did some of her new stuff. Then she put in some of her, like, I would say, like, medium hits. She did like 1-minute remixes of it. So it's like you get the fun part of that one song onto the next one. Did a little crowd work, and then she ended with "Man, I Feel Like a Woman." I mean, it was a perfect concert.
And you just went crazy.
Oh, I went fucking bananas up there in section 320 row N. It looked like a concert in France, but it was a fun time.
You like reached up and touched the top of Wells Fargo Arena.
That's where I put all my empties. I just put them on the top there. like I always think, like, have you been in Wells Fargo, Trent? I know
Yeah.
you haven't, Ryan, but
Yeah.
I always think when it's as high as that is, what if someone just started falling? Like that momentum they get going, man. Like I would be worried about falling off at that point up there. It's just so damn high.
All right,
Yeah.
sharing a screen here. My all-time favorite picture.
Oh, me?
At a Shania concert, all these women, and then Bryant.
Bro.
Yeah, and then me on the floor. Right?
And Bryant's the one who looks the most excited to be there.
I was. Oh man, so behind the picture of this scene, why I'm kind of laughing and red faced. So none of them wanted to ask someone, and we have a crowd of everyone's moving. They want to get out of the concert venue, right? So I go behind this person. I go, jean jacket, short hair. I go, hey bud, can you take a picture of us? Turns around, just short haired woman goes, yeah, sure. And I was like, oh my god, like thank God I didn't say hey dude, but I thought bud was tough enough. And then we turn around and someone was already taking the picture. So I insulted this woman, called her bud, and then she didn't even have to take the picture. Like I was just all I went up was like, hey, I mistake you for a man. Okay, see ya. And I felt terrible afterwards. I don't think bud is bad, but it's bad enough.
So none of these girls, like you were literally the only guy there. There's no like their husbands or boyfriends or nothing.
I told them all last year. I was like, I was pissed at them. I was like, dude, Shania was in town, and everyone claims they would love to go, and we missed her this year. I go, next time she's in town, we're gonna go. And she came to town. I told him, like, so are we getting tickets? Like, I had to push the initiative of getting the tickets. Yeah, we all want to go. Well, literally none of the men wanted to go, and I don't know if they thought that would deter it, but they're like, okay, well, are you sure you still want to go? I'm like, yes, it was my idea. I want to go. So yeah, it was just me and 6 ladies, and went home with none of them.
Prairie Valley
Typical fashion.
Prairie Valley class of 2010
9
reunion right there.
Yeah, nice little reunion there. But yeah, it was a fun time. It was very interesting just sitting there like here we're talking about sports and stupid shit all the time, but then hearing like the women's side like their stupid stuff, it was like a whole new world. It's very odd for me listening to talk about their shit, you know.
So we went down to Vegas a couple weeks ago, and it was me, my wife's sister, and her and a friend of hers. So it was me and 3 women, which it was a fun trip. I had a lot of fun. But yeah, I agree. When it was us for a lot of there's a lot of me and Rebecca time, but when it was us for man, there's a lot of it's a whole different world.
Yeah, you don't realize it. Like I've never thought of half of that stuff they're talking about, and they're like, I just sat back and listened. They don't need a man explaining anything. I just sat back and.
Oh no, not me. I make sure I mansplain everything to every female.
You're married now though. You can afford to do that. There's no negative consequences if you do it, you know.
Yeah, you're not married. You don't understand the negative consequences that can happen.
Yeah, exactly.
My wife can make life tougher for me than any girl you're not dating.
Yeah, exactly. Because you know what would happen? I'd just leave, and the whole thing's done at that point. So.
Yeah, we live in the same house. I don't have that option.
You can't even just like I'm just gonna leave the situation, leave the room. No, she'll just follow you. She will always be.
And another thing.
Yeah. Your mother? No, I'm just kidding.
We're all big Dane Cook fans. I know that. You're
yeah.
You're stupid like your father. That argument.
Yeah. Dane Cook, God.
No, you're not a big Dane Cook guy.
No, back in the day when I was in sophomore in high school, I was. I loved him in Employment of the Month.
Is Matt Rife the new Dane Cook?
Yes. I mean, because it's the best thing I've heard because every woman you talk to will say he's the funniest guy out there, and everything I see from him, it's not a well set up joke like. Louis C.K. can tell he's problematic, probably a terrible example, but like he can set up a really good joke. Good comedians can do that. Everything I see on TikTok or Instagram or anything, it's crowd work with him.
Yep.
Calling upon someone, and it's the best thing I've heard is like if you want to know if someone that's hot like him is a good comedian, you have to close your eyes and just listen. And if you're not laughing, you're only laughing because he's a charming looking guy. And from people that I've heard, like my hairdresser saw him at Wells Fargo or somewhere in Des Moines, they're like, yeah, he was terrible. He was literally just on his phone half the time, looking at his new material. Like when you live in this area, this is where they test the stuff. They don't ever like go to Chicago and have a half-assed act. They do that in Des Moines, Iowa.
Well, not really, not the good comedians, because you have the good comedians like Chappelle and Rock and
Yeah.
Carlin and all them. They would go to the small, like the Comedy Store, the Comedy Cellar in New York and L.A. Dane Cook did that type of stuff.
Mhm.
That is not good if you're doing a massive tour, and those tickets were not cheap. They were stupid expensive, and for him to sit there and be on his phone testing new material, I'd be
Like
pissed.
you can have new material, but have it memorized, or like you'll see them half the time is they'll have a list on the ground with their set, like the order that they want to do. They're not just doing that. They're not. Hold on one sec. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. So the other day, that's not organic. It looks like shit too. We
So
went to Jim Gaffigan 2 months ago. Did the same thing. He ended the joke or the whole like 90 minutes he was doing stuff with just a very like it was a joke with like he ran into two black people and like when he was younger and someone thought they were his parents or something and he's like, well, clearly not. Okay, see ya. Like that, it was just a wet fart of a joke and just left. And we're like, that's how he's gonna end it on a like a half-assed, not worked through joke. Just terrible.
yeah, we went to Daniel Tosh in Vegas, and my biggest complaint was it started at 10 o'clock at night, and our day started at 6:30 in the morning. So by the time 10 o'clock came, that was a rough time.
Mhm.
Very funny though, very 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 funny. I loved it.
I was about to ask, didn't
Um,
fall asleep in the theater, did you?
no, my wife did, but again, long day. But no, hilarious, very very funny, and just none of that. You can tell he's a true professional, a true great, and a little bit of crowd interaction, and just it's amazing how quick on his feet he is. Like, and that's how
Mhm,
it's not like Matt Rife where your whole show is crowd interaction. It's just every here and there a couple things, nothing crazy. But yeah,
mhm.
it got so funny, just laughed my butt off.
Well, if I ever make it out there, well, now that we're gonna have more games out west, that might be something we need to try and make a point of getting out to Vegas and seeing them.
Yeah, just don't start your morning at 6:30 and try to be there at 10 o'clock at night.
Never do.
I usually don't either, but when in Vegas,
Yeah, I'd say if I ever have a vacation, it's gonna take a lot for me for someone to tell me, hey, you need to start your vacation day at 6:30. You kidding me? That my vacation is when I sleep in. I gotta wake up at 6:30 to go to work.
yeah, no. And have you been to Vegas before?
No.
Okay, so it's very easy to put on miles. We had put on over 10 miles that day walking, just going up and down the
Holy
strip,
hell.
going to casino and that stuff. It's just,
Mhm,
but so we went to the Sphere, and I know I sent you guys videos. That is, if you
mhm.
get the opportunity, if you're ever there, that is amazing. Absolutely. I have never walked away from something and gone like, holy crap, like I did with that.
Were you in it or you saw it?
In it. Yep. Yep.
You're in the sphere. Okay.
Yep. So it's a 2 hour experience. In the first hour, you're in the atrium for an hour, and there's a bunch of hologram things. So it's like you got Avatar around you basically. And
Mhm,
you've got 5 different droids that you can actually talk to and interact with and that stuff. And that is something I never thought I would see in my lifetime. And
yeah.
it's creepy how good it is. So like the one droid was standing right in front of us, and she's giving information about the venue and that stuff. And then the lady in front of me, she was wearing a blue sweater and had some designs on it.
Mm.
And she said something out loud, and the droid looks over at her and goes, "Lady in the blue sweater with the black bars on it. Did you have a question for me?"
Holy hell.
Jesus.
And like everyone's like, "Holy shit!" And they're like, okay, and then okay, what's your name? And then she tells the name, and the whole time that she's having the conversation, she's going by her name and all that stuff. Like it was creepy, but it was just amazing. And then the second hour, no,
Scared me.
no, like I didn't think of it. I should ask what her favorite Terminator was.
Oh, the one I will become.
Yeah.
That would be the worst.
The second hour then is a 50-minute long movie, and it was like 3D but without all the 3D stuff, and you've got the screen all around you and everything. Like it was so amazingly lifelike that you were in the actual setting. So like the first part of it, you're in space and a spaceship is getting shot across the screen, and then all of a sudden it turns direction and starts coming at you, and you honestly feel like it's going to crash into you. And then you get put into the spaceship and you start going down onto the planet, and the seat starts rumbling underneath, and you feel like you're actually landing the spaceship. So there's that. Then the next part is if you can get motion sickness, this isn't for you. The next part is you're outside in space and planet Earth is out there, and you see planet Earth get bigger and come closer to you, and eventually it feels like you're free falling into planet Earth. So you're just kind of holding on to your seat, like oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Like it's amazing. It is amazing. And then all of a sudden it just changes to you going over like the Himalayan mountains and stuff like that, and you feel like you're flying over the Himalayan mountains, and it was an absolutely amazing 2-hour experience.
I would say if I'm ever out there, man, I'm gonna add it to the list. I already lose enough money gambling when I'm trying to say that Kansas is gonna win by 4 versus Marquette, like they are not doing right now. You know?
Yep.
No. That sounds like up my alley.
Yeah, no, that for sure. If you're ever out in Vegas, that is something you 100% have to put on your list, unless, like I said, unless you get motion sickness. But
well, I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
I want to be the first person to barf in the Sphere.
I can guarantee.
I bet you won't be the first.
There is no way I would ever be able to go there drunk. Because first of all, the stadium seating is so steep that you feel like you're going to fall down. Like you have to, like me, I'm holding on to the railing because I'm like, I don't want to fall down this thing. And then, just all the video and everything. So there's one part I don't like being outside during bad weather. So if there's thunder and if there's lightning around, like I love storms if I'm in a house, but I don't like it if I'm out there. There's a part where it switches to there being bad weather. So you've got lightning striking all around you on the screen. You've got the speaker. There's 16,000 speakers in that place. So you've got the sound system being incredible with the thunder. And then your seat's vibrating every time there's big thunder. And then all of a sudden you feel wind blowing on you. There's huge blowers on the bottom and there's wind blowing into you. And I actually became very anxious during that time where I'm just looking away. Like I can't look at the screen. Like I just can't do it.
Isn't that what they try to do with like 4D movies back in the day where you with the seat moving around? And,
Yeah.
Holy hell.
Just for this, I thought it was way, way better than anything I've done like that.
You do not want to watch a porno in that thing. all of a sudden something spritzes on your face. You don't want to know what it is.
So there's a part with animals, and there's a spider on the screen, and my wife is terribly afraid of spiders.
Oh,
no. And she's like, nope, I know what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen. And she looks away, and sure as hell.
Oh, no.
So you sure you don't want porno on the screen? You don't want just...
Hey, what's that up there? Ah! It's jumping at me.
Ron Jeremy, I said no.
Oh, no. No. Allegedly, that's what they're saying. So I wanted to add, now that we're kind of getting to this type of stuff here, this is going to be a big change in what we're talking about here, but I wanted to ask, have you seen this Stanley Cup? I'm going to say controversy, but what's going on with Stanley Cup and the burnt car?
No.
Yes.
So fill me in.
In case anyone, hadn't that was listening or not, there is a viral video that came out, and it was similar to like one that came out like 5 years ago. But there's this car, oh my god, up in flames, everything was destroyed. Opens up the car door and happens to be a cup in there, and they pick it up, and you can conveniently see the Stanley Cup logo, and it goes, my whole car is destroyed, blah blah blah. I'm taking this video, and guess what? the cup still has ice in it.
Oh,
Ching, ching, ching. You
yep,
can hear
yep.
the ice.
Oh, I was thinking hockey when you said Stanley Cup.
I was talking to someone the other day, and they said the same because I was told the same. Yeah, the Stanley Company insulated cups, but someone when I told someone this the other day, they're like, "Why was the Stanley Cup in someone's car?" And it just caught just up in flames, and now it's just gone. Hockey history, someone put it in their truck. But
I seriously thought that's
Yeah.
what you were
no,
talking about.
So I saw this too, and the first thing I thought of was, same exact video as the Yeti one, like from 5 years ago.
mhm.
So set up.
And here's the other thing is like, okay, sure, it happens, and like someone if they're because there's like Yeti or not Yeti Stanley Cup like fanatics, like walls of all the rainbow, all the prints. Like I've seen this woman that had like 50 to 70 on her wall. Like they have a cult following. And when this video comes out, I'm thinking, do you think Bill Gates has time for any major issues? Do you think the head of Google, the head of all, do you think the head of Yeti? Do you think the head of, I'm trying to think of like a clothing company, but like, think these heads of CEOs of these companies have time to just do normal shit like respond to complaint letters or even viral videos or anything like that? Not really. But the Stanley president, within 48 hours, he not only replaced the cup, he replaced the woman's car. He put out a viral video. Thank you for being such a loyal. And conveniently, this all happens about 6 weeks before, a couple weeks before Black Friday and 6 weeks before Christmas. It's just, I'm Trent. I'm glad you and me have our tinfoil caps on because there's no way that's real, man.
No.
There's absolutely no way that it was organic.
Yeah. And that fire to burn that car up, and those lids on those things are plastic.
Yep.
Didn't melt at all. Crazy.
Yeah, crazy how that works here. Sorry, I'm just pulling up a image of it. You said you hadn't seen this at all.
No,
Ryan.
I didn't. I did now. Just because, like I said, I went straight to hockey when you said Stanley Cup.
Yeah, no, not the Stanley Cup, but like again, here's this cup with everything's destroyed all around it, but the color of the cup is just fine. The plastic around
The
it is just
handle.
fine. Oh, and the ice in it is just so cold. Like here's the other thing. I don't need I don't need a cup to keep ice in it through a fire. I don't think I'll need it at that point. But it's just.
But if you look at that interior of that car is not burnt up. So the fire obviously was not in the cabin of that car. Even if it did go through a fire, which I don't believe.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of looks like someone just like took like a little bit of a blowtorch around it, just fire around it, and then got some soot on the cup.
Mm-hmm.
But to say that was organic, and they conveniently had the best viral marketing response you could within 48 to 72 hours, okay.
Can't believe you guys would doubt somebody. Would think somebody would try to do something like that.
Corporations will not do something like that unless they benefit somehow, man.
Yeah.
There's just no way. You're not going to tell me someone has a house fire and their Crocs survive or don't survive, and they make a video of it, and the CEO of Crocs is going to go, "We're going to replace your Crocs, and also we're going to replace your house because you love Crocs." Oh, do you not think everyone would play that card? Hey, my car, it's been having low oil pressure issues. I'm gonna put my Stanley Cup in there, set it on fire, and instead of getting insurance money, I'm gonna get the CEO of Stanley to replace my car at this point. Like, come on, man.
No deductible when you do it that way.
Yeah, thank you, Stanley.
Yep.
Thank you, NHL and the Stanley Cup for that.
Yep.
My wife has a Stanley, and I just can't. I hate having that thing's too big, way too big.
Such a white girl.
Like
Ryan, I want you to do an investigation on this. I want you to organically at some point in the next week ask her, "Hey, babe, have you seen this video? You like Stanley, right?" And then explain this whole thing to her. And then at the end, say, "Do you think this is real or do you think this is a setup?" And I just want to see her response.
Okay, I will do that.
Next time,
if she just believes.
Next time you have a fire in your fire pit, throw that thing in there. I need to know if this is real or not. I need to know if the ice survives.
But now we need to do blind tests. We need to have an Ozark Trail double insulated. We need a Stanley double insulated and a Yeti, and see which has the most ice.
I mean, even my 4-year-old towel brand from Walmart. I mean,
Hydro Flask
holds ice just fine.
Yeah. Now, but here's you ready for our get rich quick scheme?
Let's hear it.
We're gonna make that video the 3 which does the best, and we're gonna make an alternate ending for all 3 companies. Send it to all 3 companies and see which one we get famous on. We're gonna blow this podcast up.
Yep.
I'm gonna do this with golf balls and be like, "Hey, Titleist, I see your golf ball didn't burn up when it was in a fire."
If you did that, the only company that would apply to you is Noodle.
Yeah,
because it's a rock.
Noodle. It'll be Noodle or whoever makes any colored golf balls, pink, orange, yellow. They respond to you.
Yeah. Get some yellow Provies.
Sorry,
I got some red Callaways. They work pretty well.
Hate them. Can't see them.
They are a little tough. Red was, especially if you're colorblind, what a terrible color you could have chosen.
They almost burn your retinas. If they're the ones that I'm thinking, they almost burn your retinas when you're looking down on them.
Yeah, if I'm playing with somebody that is playing that ball, I have to stand right behind them to see it. If I'm standing off to the side, I can't see it off their club and into the air.
You know what, though? It was fun when we played in that tournament a few weeks ago. And speaking of which, second flight champions were pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
But all 3 of us are just so old we can't see a ball fly. Where'd it go? I think it went in the fairway. We'll have to see.
I went generally left. That's usually my indication.
You see that?
And you're trying to
you see that green 400 yards up? Well, it's somewhere within 100-yard width going towards it.
Left or right? Yeah. And it's not as far as that green. If we've gone to the green, we've gone too far. Yeah.
That's right.
We played date.
Me, Trent, and Kevin, second flight champions at the Fall Classic in Sioux Falls. Pretty amazing.
Yeah. Just
how much under were you?
12 or something like that.
I think it was more. I think it was 8 or something like that.
I thought we could hit double digits.
Pulled a Tiger 18 under and 18.
We did last year, but this year it was so windy. It was hard. It was hard this year.
It's tough.
Tough conditions. Conditions. Oh, speaking of which, Tiger's back to playing golf next week.
And
Charlie or where?
No, he's playing the Hero, right?
Yeah, in the Bahamas.
And the SoFi Center that they're building for the golf league deflated.
Metrodome down them.
Yeah, so now they're not starting till 2025 now.
Yeah. Yep.
Was that that's the indoor course you're talking about?
Yeah, indoor, like a simulator. It's like simulator league / they had green set up so they could do short game stuff too. And
just build another sphere. That's all they need to do.
Did you see that Dana White's going to try to get a UFC event there at the Sphere?
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting.
I want to see giant Conor McGregor on that thing, staring down on them, laughing in his Irish accent, drinking proper 12 or whatever the fuck it's called.
Dude, that stuff is actually legit. I first of all don't like Conor McGregor. I really don't like Irish whiskey. That Conor McGregor's Irish whiskey it's legit. It is good.
Do you drink it straight or do you put a Coke in it or something?
I drink it straight.
Okay. If I see it, I might have to try it then.
It's not
really much of a whiskey.
It's not a bad price either. It's actually pretty reasonable.
$12, proper 12, right? Proper $12.
Maybe triple that.
Oh no! Well, I better really want to try it the next time. I'm paying $40 for something I might hate. So.
Oh, it's $25.
Okay. Proper 25.
Yeah, proper 25.
They just need to name it the price.
Well, that's probably what it is with the exchange rate and the currency in Ireland
That,
probably
I
is
mean,
12.
the inflation, man.
Potato.
The
Yeah.
inflation. You got to take that. And the Irish whiskey's not cheap to make during inflation periods.
Yeah.
You said you
Probably-
saw John Cleese too, right?
Yeah, I went to that last week. It was really odd. Like I was never huge into Monty Python, but I knew of him,
Mhm.
and he was in like Rat Race and stuff. But it was interesting. Like it was a brand new music hall down in Des Moines, and it's like you're assuming it's a brand new music hall. It's going to be everything was super nice except the floor seats was literally like they went to Big Lots and just bought like 100 of the shittiest like folding chairs, like no cushion, just plastic, and they were like tied up together so you didn't have space. And it was just kind of like, man, you put so much effort into this nice facility, and then that's the seats we get for the front row, you know.
Mhm.
But yeah, he came in, he did some anecdotes, he explained, comedy. It was a good time. He was 84. It's interesting seeing when they're at that age. He will talk, he kind of loses his spot, but then he gets back into his act and he's hitting his cues just on point. It was really fun time.
Good. That's good. That's always good when you when comedians or whatever actually pull it off. Not like Matt Rife. Oh, so yeah, I was gonna say Matt Rife has a new Netflix special, and I didn't watch
We'll
it.
review it next.
I don't know if I can get myself to watch it. I have looked at Reddit reviews, and it is just getting butchered.
That's just all the incels. They're mad because he's charming.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's his thing is he wants to be taken seriously as a comedian for all instead of just for women and an actual comedian, not just someone that does crowd work and stuff. And it's like, yeah, I don't doesn't sound like it worked out that
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, well, and like I said, he's a young enough guy, but he knows where he's at. Like I, this I don't this is not going to not sound bad, but it's like, why do you think you got veneers, dude? Why do you think you straightened your teeth and you did all this to be good looking so you get more attention? And you can't be mad when it's like you brought a certain demographic in and that's what you're known for. And honestly, like I said, when you do have live shows in some of these smaller areas that you're never going to be in, and you're testing material and doing it as badly as I heard, like you can't be mad then when people love your crowd work because that's the only standout part of your stand up.
Yeah. Yeah. And lean into it. Like you're a millionaire that's making a ton of money off of going out and making women happy and just basically off your looks. Just lean into it. Who cares?
By the way, now that we've talked about Matt Rife so much, I know when I open up TikTok later, I'm going to have it within like 5 flips. It's going to be one of the first videos because we just keep saying Matt Rife.
He flooded my Facebook pages and I never even looked them up, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, my Facebook like the shorts, whatever they are for Facebook is what
Oh, I was like, you looked up Matt Rife shorts? What are you? You sure you want to admit that on the pod?
No, I mean it's okay, I'm not gonna go too far. I'm not gonna go too far.
Yeah, not gonna go too far. Just a little bit of a short.
Just a little bit of short.
Yeah, no, Well, we already lost Trent. Do you got anything else? You think we should wrap it up under the 90 minutes here, dude?
No, yeah, we can wrap it up. I will try. I will try to make 20 minutes of the Matt Rife special to have a review. If you can try to do that, I will try to make 20 minutes.
More importantly is the Stanley Cup. Like I said, bring it up organically.
Yes.
Bring up the whole story and how nice it is. And at the very end, is this real? She's gonna say no.
I get too impatient trying to fill that thing up. It's too big. I spend too much time by the fridge standing there just like, okay, I have things to do. Now I don't need to be filling up this water bottle for 10 minutes.
Yeah. That's why it's good to have all that ice from 2 days ago in there.
That's true. That is true.
Oh shit. Well, we do appreciate everyone that joined us live here, and we'll catch you next week.